Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Purple Broom Apothecary Presents. I'm your hostess, Natalie, and today we are doing a video for the Herb Cabinet series. Now, before I get into the video specifically that I'm doing, I did want to share a little something with you guys that I got for Yule. This was given to me by either my daughter or my husband. I'm a little confused as to which one gave this to me. But this is the Illustrated Herbiary. I think my husband gave it to me, actually. This is Guidance and Rituals from 36 Bewitching Botanicals, and this is a really, really neat book. It's hardbound, which I always love, but this book not only is it beautifully illustrated, the pictures in it are just full color and gorgeous, but it definitely has a lot of good information. So it has a lovely colored illustration of the flower. Then it talks about the flower, and what I like about it is that she talks about the different types of uses for it, not just magical but medicinal also, which is what I strive to do with the Herb Cabinet series. I like to give both medicinal and ritualistic uses, and she talks about rituals here, and she gives examples, and she talks about other things. So this is really, really a neat book. It's beautifully illustrated. I mean, just look at the color in that thing. Now, I'm very attracted by color. I like lots of color, which is why my house is orange on the inside, by the way, not on the outside. On the outside, it's beige because that's what the homeowners requires. But on the inside, it is a riot of color, green and orange and red. So this is really just, to me, a fantastic book. I've learned a lot from it. What I thought was really neat was included with the book came some oracle cards that are herbal in nature. I haven't really used them yet. They are gorgeous. This is the back. These are the cards. And it just says, like, for example, red clover, center and ground. So these oracle cards are really neat. So if you're wanting to connect to a specific herb, then you could use these oracle cards in a spell to help boost the power of that herb. So it's really kind of a cool book. You guys are going to have to forgive the dogs. Okay, Pinto, that's enough. Bo, Sadie, you two need to get. Okay. Well, this isn't going as smoothly as I planned, but whatever does, right? Okay. I was having to wait because there were lots of sirens and stuff going on outside. There's a lot of growth in my area of Texas. I live in the northern part of Texas, just north of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and they just built a high school literally right off of Highway 380. I mean, right off of it, which I thought was the most ridiculous thing they could have done on the planet, because you have gravel haulers that think they don't have to stop for yellow lights or slow down or red lights, and then you've got high schoolers that think they're invincible. So it's a disaster. We've had at least 3 fatalities at that intersection in the last 3 months, and now it's my understanding that police are surrounding the high school. Yeah. Don't know what's going on with that, but I'm sure I'll find out. Anyhow, back to the video. The herb I want to discuss today is something called Bladderwrack. Bladderwrack. Now, this is not to be confused with bladderwort, which is something entirely different. Bladderwrack, this is what it looks like. It is a seaweed. It is known by many scientific names. It's a brown algae, and it is known as Fucus vesiculus. It's also known as black tang, rockweed, bladder fucus, sea oak, black tangy, cutweed, dyer's fucus, red fucus, and rockrack. So that's it. Again, not to be confused with bladderwort, which is something entirely different, and I may cover that in a separate video later. Now, I want to talk about the medicinal uses of bladderwrack. Pinto Bean, you are annoying. Bladderwrack is used. It was the original source of iodine. It was found to have iodine, which is useful in medicine, particularly like skin abrasions, cuts, insect bites, things like that. Iodine is used extensively in hospitals as a cleansing agent. It's that red substance that you see them use with cotton balls. Well, Bladderwrack has high amounts of iodine in it. It was the original source of iodine. It is a seaweed which grows in the North Sea, the Baltic Sea, and in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. So, I should have known to put the dogs out of the room before I did the video. Pinto is just, he thinks he's my dog. He's really my daughter's dog. We're fostering him for her because he was too yipey for her apartment. Anyhow, as such, iodine is not something that you want to ingest. However, I will state that I've seen herbal supplement capsules because one of the medicinal uses of Bladderwrack is to heighten your metabolism. It's used for obesity and for controlling the thyroid because iodine is known to control the thyroid. So I have seen it in capsules, but I would say, as I will say in any video that's part of the Herb Cabinet series, do not take this supplement without consulting your physician, especially if you are in any kind of thyroid medication, because Bladderwrack will interact with thyroid medications. So this is something that you do not want to take without consulting your physician if those are the kinds of medications that you're taking. Now, medicinally, it's used to, he just spilled my coffee everywhere. It is used to heighten metabolism, control your thyroid, used in a tincture and a poultice on cuts, insect bites, burns, and skin abrasions. And because of its containing iodine, it can be very good for that because iodine is known for its antifungal and antibacterial properties. Pinto, you are just getting on my last nerve. Gosh, you're cute. Okay, so in any case, it was discovered in 1819 as the original source of iodine, as I have mentioned. Now, magical uses for Bladderwrack. Bladderwrack has many magical uses, primarily used for money spells, sea spells, wind spells, and protection spells. So what I wanted to do today is talk about some of the ways I use Bladderwrack as protection and as a money drawing spells. As many of you know, I operate two separate businesses completely unrelated. I am a speech language pathologist. I have a private practice, but I also operate the Purple Broom Apothecary, hence the channel, and that is my magical and psychic practice. So I do classes on Udemy. I have a palmistry class up there. I'm about to upload a basic witchcraft course as well as the advanced palmistry course. I'm working on those right now, and I'm trying to get those uploaded before spring break. That's my goal. But I like to do a lot of money spells because who doesn't need money? And let's face it, if you can't bring money to yourself and you can't have a comfortable lifestyle, what's the point of being a witch, right? So obviously I need to draw business, and I want business to be calm and happy, especially because I'm a certified autism specialist and I work with a lot of autistic kids, and a lot of them tend to be very, I also work with autistic adults. So this is an item that I use not only for money drawing, but I also use it for protection of my business against outside influences such as competition. As I just mentioned, the area here is growing rapidly like a weed. There are new neighborhoods popping up all over the place. It's kind of sad actually, because this used to be very quiet, peaceful farmland, and a lot of the farmland is disappearing and becoming houses and neighborhoods, which on the business side of things is very good, but on the personal side of things I find it very choking. I moved out here to get away from the bustle of the city, and it's following me. So urban sprawl, folks. But I wanted to demonstrate one way in which I use Bladderwrack as a money drawing property. Now, Bladderwrack can be used in tinctures. It's used in capsules. It's ground into a powder and used that way as well. In this case, I'll be making a tea out of it. Now, again, it's not a tea that I'm going to ingest. So once again, there are some precautions to ingesting anything with Bladderwrack in it because of the high contents of iodine. And also because, like any other seaweed, it can concentrate high amounts of heavy metals as well. So it's not something you just want to ingest. Now, if I am using Bladderwrack for protection, I will mix Bladderwrack with lavender, my Himalayan black salt, which you can buy for $1 a package at the Enchanted Forest in Fort Worth. I will also use it with rosemary. Okay, so I will combine these things and put them into a sachet and hang them around my house, or I will combine them in some sort of a wash and wash the doors of my house and my windows with it. I will usually anoint a pentacle with the wash in the windows, so it helps to protect that, or above the windows. Now, in terms of money drawing, I combine Bladderwrack with basil. Basil is known for its money drawing properties. As I've talked about in the previous videos using basil, it was often worn by prostitutes in Italy to draw customers to them. It's quite fragrant and lovely. Bladderwrack I don't think has really much of a smell. It doesn't really have much of a smell. What smell it does have is kind of pleasant, a little salty, but not anything abnormal. But here's what I do to create my wash. My money drawing wash. I will get just a regular coffee filter. Now, if you desire, you can order tea bags, empty tea bags that you can fill from Mountain Rose Herbs. And that is something that I like to do too. But in this case, because I want to make a big bucket, I'm going to use it as a wash. I will get a coffee filter and a stapler. I will take some of the Bladderwrack, and usually I'll use just kind of a couple of pinches of it. Okay, it doesn't take a whole lot. And at $1.45 an ounce, again, guess where I got this? The Enchanted Forest in Fort Worth. Actually going to take 3 pinches of Bladderwrack. Okay, so I will put in 3 pinches of Bladderwrack. You want to make sure you close it up. Don't let it get, moisture in there. You want to do that with all your herbs. I actually try to store them in glass jars. And then I will just take some of the basil. Now this is basil leaves, so I'll just add some of the basil till it looks up to be about an even amount. I'm going to try to show this to you. So there, I've got my Bladderwrack and my basil. I like to mix them in, and then what I do is I will just simply close it up like this. I fold it over again, fold it down so that it makes like a little bag. Then I will staple it to seal it in, and I will boil this in water mixed with a little bit of witch hazel. And what I do with that is I will take that tea, and I usually put on gloves, but I will wash the floors and the windows. You can add it to other washes, but I will just simply wash the doors and the window frames with it. And I usually have an incantation that I use with it. Now, if you operate a retail business, you might want to wash your shelves with it. Now, sometimes I will add chamomile and lavender to even the money drawing wash. The reason I do that is because I want a calm and peaceful environment in my apothecary. So in that side of it, I don't really have a retail brick and mortar business for the apothecary, but you can use it for calming. I'll use it on the business side to promote a calming environment as well as a money drawing environment. Same thing with rosemary. You can add a little rosemary because rosemary is known for remembrance. If you want to remember something, keep it in your mind and smell some rosemary. And that's been known to stimulate the part of the brain that helps with your memory. So you want people to remember you and remember your business and come back to it and speak of it to others. So adding a little rosemary to your wash may help too. But basically you're just going to boil this into some water and make a wash out of it, and then you'll wash the windows, walls, doors, and floors and shelves of any retail business that you operate in to help draw money in. So that is how I utilize Bladderwrack. Now, I do want to mention another common spell in which Bladderwrack is used to draw money to a household. I'm sure it would work also for a business, but you're going to take a jar and put some whiskey in it. Whiskey, folks. And then you're going to put Bladderwrack into the whiskey. You cap it tightly and you put that in the window. And that is to continuously draw money to the household. So that's a good thing just to have. And you might want to refresh that every couple of months, maybe once a month or every couple of months. Now, other magical uses for Bladderwrack include putting some in your luggage when you're going on a sea voyage, like if you're going on a cruise. You may want to put some Bladderwrack in your luggage just to ensure that you are having a peaceful and safe journey. You can throw it out into the sea to call upon the winds of the sea and the sea spirits to aid you in some working if that's what you want to do. Another use that I have for Bladderwrack is it's known for increasing psychic properties. So I like to put it in a sachet with some mugwort and some angelica and put that under my bed, my pillow. So I will sleep with that either in my pillowcase or under my pillow to help increase my psychic dreams. I also use it in loose incenses, but I don't recommend inhaling the smoke directly. I don't recommend doing that with anything, to be honest with you, but I will use the sprinkles of Bladderwrack and mugwort in my divination incenses that I use as well. So those are some uses for Bladderwrack. Again, not to be confused with bladderwort. It is different. This is a seaweed. So get out there, try it out, see how it works for you. And thank you so much for watching. Blessed be.